Thanks for stopping in the Artistic Motorcycle Company. I'm Craig Austin. When I introduced this blog, I said it would be an exploration of motorcycling and promised all manner of motorcycle-centric projects. But here I stand with a clothing project and not a bike in sight. Well, I'll get back to that point. I also talked about my fondness for vintage motorcycles, and an extension of that, or something that occurred concurrently with my growing interest in vintage motorcycles, is a particular fondness for all the best of what the Victorian age brought to European and American society. The Victorian age is said to have begun and ended with the reign of Queen Victoria. I believe she passed on very early in the 1900s, followed by her brother, King Edward, who continued a tradition in a sense for a few more years before they kind of gave up on the eras, I think. The best of the Victorian era. Now, the mid to late 1800s, the landed gentry of England had based its position on its breeding, its reputation, who they had known and become close to in the early monarchy, and that breeding sustained their position, and the position then demanded particular manner of conduct and personal behavior and formality. If you've watched Downton Abbey, for instance, or Pride and Prejudice, I think movies of that sort from the BBC and Masterpiece Theatre, they go to great lengths to reproduce the set dressing to match what was expected of those the people of those eras, and very good references. Tables set with just so many pieces of china and forks and spoons laid out at certain distances. The chairs were very thin back. There was merely just a way of holding on to the chair. You were never supposed to lean against it, always to stand or sit very prim and properly, to put your best carriage forward at all times. Stiff upper lip and chin up and all that. But part of that era was the middle class's realization that if they could emulate good manners and respectable and consistent character, they could also attain position. There were a number of individuals who, from lowly beginnings, adopted upper class standards of conduct and behavior, all genuinely so, and found themselves married into the landed gentry. And having attained that, the manners begat the position, which then begat the necessity to raise their children in like manner. So the breeding position manner was turned to manner position breeding. And so there was a certain mutual respect. You didn't show your butt in public. There were many ways of doing that, very politely and menacingly, but generally didn't make an ass of yourself nor call your companions fools. And I think we could learn a lot from that these days. So I've kind of begun to adopt the Victorian standard of conduct. Perhaps I've done so for quite a long time, and as a matter of character myself, and have now found what it's actually called. But in any respect, I'm interested in now vintage apparel, not only for the vintage motorcycles, but for myself as well. Now, how do we get to where we are? Well, this is how I go to work in the day. I'm a estate manager. Actually, I do a lot of major construction projects after the general contractor that built the facility completed their scope of work. So I'm outdoors all day, swinging tools in hot, humid conditions, and I need substantial footwear. I wear shorts to stay cool, performance t-shirt. I have lost about 25 pounds in the last couple of months, intentionally. So now I'm wearing suspenders and my pants are too big. And I usually wear a broad-brimmed hat to stay out of the sun. Well, this is not suitable for the grandeur of the property I work on. So I thought there's got to be something better. And it occurred to me, characters like Roger Moore, Ernest Hemingway, and Clark Gable, made the safari suit, the Australian Outback outfit, or bush outfit, quite popular. The adventure of Africa, the adventurous character of James Bond, played by Roger Moore. Stuff like that kind of gives a certain flair, a little fun to this outfit, but it was actually born of necessity and had great deal of utility. In fact, let me show you one. Now, it turns out an acquaintance of mine through business actually spent some time as a big game hunter in southern Africa. And this was his original safari outfit. This is manufactured by, it says, Willis & Geiger. This jacket is about 15, 20 years old. Patched pockets, top and bottom. A little bit of an elastic gather here at the waist. A butt pad for the rifle. Epaulets. Buttoned. It's made of Egyptian cotton. Oh, I just realized you can roll up the sleeves and button them here. That's kind of neat. It's has a gusset in the back so that your arms can move freely. It is split in the back so you can sit without it binding. Now this one is made of Egyptian cotton, which is very fine and closely woven, so it has a certain amount of water repellency built into the fabric. And this one also happens to have a series of cartridge pockets across the top here. Now this was standard attire. This is what they wore in the bush. And you can see, you imagine what a safari might be like, especially as a guide. It has everything you need. So, born of utility, as I said. Well, it's kind of neat to see this as a point of reference. So I decided I wanted to find a pattern to make an Australian bush outfit, safari outfit. So in looking online, I go back to one of my favorite pattern companies called Folkwear. Now they reproduce patterns from major clothing manufacturers that have gone out of style or out of fashion from several decades ago. And this one is pattern number 130, called the Australian Bush Outfit. And it has patterns for men's and women's, and it also had a little thing for making a little satchel that you could carry over your shoulder. All right, well, nice pattern. I like what these people do. The patterns are easy to follow, and they give you instructions on how to make adjustments for length and the like. So this is what I ended up with. This is actually the second iteration on the jacket. Now, the pattern is pretty good, and it's easy to work with, because sometimes the proportions are off. So the first one, I had one sleeve on and no pockets, and I put it on, and lo and behold, the sleeve was like up to here. So that's not right. Well, shucks. All right. And I didn't like the placement of the belt and the pockets and the like and the length. And, well, you know, in the traditional style, we've seen pictures of Ernest Hemingway and Clark Gable, the trouser actually came up nearly to their navel. And in the pattern, the belt is actually set at the same level. So it's just slightly below your elbow. Well, the American paunch has pushed our pants waist down several inches. And 25 pounds ago, that looked really bad. So I modified the pattern to eliminate the wide top belt and lowered the waist. But when I put it on, and then this belt was supposed to coincide with it, made the pockets too short. God. Well, darn it, I need to lose weight for a number of reasons. So I did, intentionally, as I said. So now, in profile, I look more presentable, better for this style. So I'm going to go back and do this again. It'll be my third iteration on the jacket. Now, the jacket has a belt that gathers it, and then the trouser, as I said, is high-waisted. This is actually slipped down a bit. And yes, I own a dress form. Now the original pattern, you see, how to do this. There we go. the belt actually overlaps, and there are buckles on the sides that take up the slack. And there's also a button fly. And it can be cuffed at any length you like in walking shorts or the long trousers. So getting this waist up where it belongs, having lost some weight and being able to wear it that way, now the belt should fit right. But even as you see here in this iteration of the jacket, my belt is now too low for the trousers. So got to make another jacket. And this is the first run at the trouser. You see it has a slit pocket. I don't like that. I like the more of a pocket like a pair of trousers on jeans. I like the hip pocket or thigh pocket. And let's see, does it have? It does. Internal rear pockets with a flap. These are hard to make. Not keen on that. See here, of course, now the jacket has got the slit in the back. It also has a gore so your arms can move freely. Just give it a little tug and straighten it out. Epaulettes. Not entirely sure what those are for, but I'll find a use. And, well, I think it's going to be pretty sharp. Now, one thing I'm going to do differently is that this has a very tapered look. It's darts front and rear. I'm going to make it a little more straight, easier to make. It will hang better on my form, my shape. What else? Pockets. Boys liked patch or cargo pockets, I should say. Patch pocket being one that's built sewn onto the outside of the garment. Cargo pocket being one that expands. So here's my expanding cargo pocket. And I've actually sewn the creases so they always fall flat again. I like to do that. It makes it look neat when you first put it on and doesn't affect its functionality. Well, this is my next project because now that I've reached my goal weight, it's time to look better at work. So I've been looking at some other accessories to go with this, if in mind to wear this regularly. For one, well, I should say, when I do the trousers next time, I'm going to change the pocket. I'm going to design a cuffed short, walking shorts, the long trousers to wear with a boot like this. And I'm also going to wear a set-up, what am I trying to say? I'm going to make knickers, or maybe even joggers for that matter, that will fit to the top of my 18-inch shaft lineman's boot. You'll see a picture of those astride my Royal Enfield when I went to the historic races last month. So if I were going to wear shorts and nice boots, like these for instance, this is a lug sole, something of a dress boot. It's a wingtip design. It has sort of a distressed or variegated brown tanning. Looks very nice. Actually has a plaid liner. Nice looking boot, but it needs a decent sock. Happened to find these, khaki green. I've worn these the other day. These are brand new. We'll see what happens with a few washings. This cuff stays at my knee all day without the need of a gaiter. Awesome solution. I'd like to see how those work together. I've also picked up some nice suspenders. Now these are the type with the buttons. And let's see here. There we go. Again, a khaki green. Because the trousers don't actually have a belt, the suspenders will be attached to buttons sewn to the inside to keep the trouser in place. Like the color too. So it should be pretty neat. Looking forward to getting back on the sewing machine and making some lint. All right. Well, thank you very much for stopping by the Artistic Motorcycle Company. As I said before, oh, I forgot something. What has this got to do with motorcycles, you'd ask? Haha, it is a motorcycle site, isn't it? Well, I have a long entertained dream of owning a Ural Patrol or Gear Up sidecar motorcycle. And owing to its history, I would like very much to do a paramilitary treatment in desert beige, flat desert beige, with some World War II aircraft nose art. I already have a name for the girl. And I think this would be a great outfit. to be seen tooling around town in on a Ural and desert tan. Huh. My wife gets a kick out of my costumes. Well, she says outfits. I think she's being charitable. Yes, costumes. I dress in costume. Not Disney-esque, but definitely in costume. A certain feel, a sense of what I want to project, or perhaps what I feel of myself in the clothes. And I suppose I can carry it off pretty well because in this case, the clothes don't make the man. I don't put on a persona with the clothes. Considering I do so, it seems the man makes the clothes. In fact, the clothes I make reflect my personality and interests. So I'll be quite comfortable in this. All right, well, I hope you follow the project. I'll get some photographs on the website as we go along, and I'll model this for you. And boy, once I get it to fit, I've got to make short sleeve jacket, long sleeve jacket, shorts, long trousers, knickers, and enough of the shorts to get through a week without having to go back to the wash, because I hope to make this my uniform at the office. Very good. All right, well, thanks for stopping in. It's good to see you again. I'm Craig Austin.